tennis, cricket, and all variety. Catch us at Romy TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 p.m.
so that we can keep it sporty at Sporty Arena.
Yo, welcome to the show. This is the Sports Arena. I'm your host Emmanuel Onyango here at Romy TV Africa. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell. Upate stories zote moto za sports. And obvious, I'm not alone. I'm always with that pandit of mine.
I'm your guy Eriko. Tulikuwa na nyinyi last week mzima. Your guy here was not around.
I had gone to Qatar, bro.
Oh.
Nilikuwa nimeenda kuangalia hizo stadium.
Nilikuwa nimeenda kucheki. Sasa tuliona picha by the way.
Uliona? But yeah, I'm back.
Netesa. Okay, so we are back.
Narudi huko nilikuwa nimevaa kanzu. Sasa nimerudi huko imebidi nianze kuvaa hizi majacket juu ya baridi.
Baridi mazee.
The weekend. How was your weekend kwanza? We were not here on Monday.
Unasema nini? Weekend mazee, yani everything was highlighted by just one team.
Yeah.
That one team. That one. Mazee. Was fantastic.
Unajua Kiswahili tunasema ni kinaya, unaongelea timu yako. Lakini umevalia jezi
ya opponent.
Yani kama wanapewa vichwa.
Ini kuambia tunaweza wavaa kwa field na bado tuwavae kwa jezi.
So our first news, we are going to focus on the EPL over the weekend, and most of it all. Should we say it was a game whereby Arsenal had to win, so that to increase the lead, so that to increase the lead between them and the Man City team.
Yes.
Whereby we saw Arsenal being 2-0 victors over against the Wolves, and they were goals from the captain. 2 goals from captain. Fantastic. They call him Captain Fantastic, Captain Odegaard. How was the game?
Well, I think when Mikel Arteta boys went into that pitch, they knew one thing. This is a must win. They had to win that game no matter what.
Yeah.
They had to win that game. And they missed a few chances at first half. They did not start really well. Xhaka got off in the early minutes. He was ill, but the Gunners took control. They control a big part of the game. Yeah, their defense was fantastic. Congrats to Gabriel. He really showed a matured performance. And in the second half, they returned another team, another rejuvenated team. Mikel Arteta inspired them in the halftime break, and the captain stepped up. This is one of the games you feel proud when the captain steps up. Yeah, he steps up and gives you 2 goals, which takes you 5 points in front. That makes you feel proud of your team, your Arsenal team, and I think that was fantastic from Mikel Arteta's men, mostly from Odegaard. Everyone was really fantastic in that team. Yeah, Jesus, although he has not scored many goals, but he has been a very important part of our team. He's that glue there in front. He is aggressive. His tackles. He presses very aggressively, and I think that is one of the reasons why Arsenal are in front there. And I think Wolves will have a thing or two to learn from Arsenal. We also have a thing or two to learn from them. But it was a majestic performance.
It shows that. Actually, at the moment, teams will be coming, when they play against Arsenal, they'll be coming to defend, because you see now this Arsenal team is becoming an attacking team right now.
Yeah.
You never know where they're attacking from, because when you look at that game, you see that Wolves went with a defensive lineup where they went with a 5-3-2, and the defense mostly in the first half they played their part, but in the second half Arsenal beat and they found their way through.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and this is something about Arsenal. No matter which team they play, either big or small, they always want to control the game, and I think that is something vital for Mikel Arteta. I think that is what is making him win, the control of the game, total dominance from minute 1 up to 90, and creating more chances in the final third. And I think that is something which is really crazy, which is really fantastic for Mikel Arteta what he has brought at Arsenal.
Okay, speaking of league leaders, also the previous league leaders also Manchester City, they got a shock defeat. Should we say a shock defeat or unexpected defeat? Because when you see that game, they ended up conceding in the last minutes of the game.
Yeah.
A goal from 2 goals from Ivan Toney, and this Ivan Toney had not been selected in the English England World Cup squad, but all of a sudden in the next day he scores 2 goals against Manchester City.
Yeah, of course. I will say this was a shocking defeat. I didn't expect anything less from Man City more than a win. Yeah, I didn't expect anything less. I think this was a shocking game. And I think it all depends on how Brighton started the game. They started the game in a very high note. Yeah, they started by attacking. Yeah, the counters were so clinical, and they even got to score in the first 20 minutes. Ivan Toney scored in the 16th minute. I think that is what gave them a grip. And although Man City dominated the game, the position was 75 to 25, but Brentford kept a really cool structure at the back. Yeah, I think that is something which helped them. And that last minute surprise, yeah, that is what ended everything all.
So
yeah?
we should say that no team should underestimate Arsenal at the moment, or also we can say that no team should be underestimated in the Premier League.
Yeah, no team should be underestimated.
Mostly maybe people thought that since Arsenal were able to beat Brentford 3 goals to nil,
very easily.
Because in that game I remember Brentford striker Ivan Toney was kept silent all over the game because he ended up being subbed off in that game.
And we kept a clean sheet by the way.
And now in this game, when you come to this game, Man City against Brentford, we see that this team. We see that this team also ended up struggling, Manchester City struggling, and even keeping Haaland on silent. Haaland does not.
Haaland. We did not see Haaland that game. That is why I'm telling you the back four in Brentford that day was really compact. They knew where the balls were headed. They knew that everyone in the team will be looking for Haaland. Haaland will be looking for a goal, and that is what they stuck up with. They compacted him. They really gave him no space at all. Yeah, and I think that is why they won. Yeah, of course.
Staying in the English Premier League, Chelsea Wolves continues as they lost 1-0 to the high-flying Newcastle United.
The Magpies
themselves. A striking shot from Joe Willock, a former Arsenal player. Now we see that Newcastle is also another team to watch out.
Of course,
and we can say that a game between Arsenal and Man City cannot be interesting than a game between Arsenal and Newcastle at the moment, because when you see Arsenal and Newcastle are the teams that at the moment they are teams that compared to last season they were starting to rise, and now in this season they are the only teams that from below top 6, below top 5 last season, and now they are the ones in the top 3, and Arsenal leading, Newcastle in the 3rd position, and now Chelsea are the ones struggling down there with Graham Potter now losing 3 consecutive games. Something that even Tuchel, when he was there, it did not happen to him.
Yeah, of course. What I have to say is that there's no team that will play with Newcastle at the moment, even if it's one of the big 5, and expect to win easily. Yeah, Newcastle now are high flying. They are playing fantastic football. They are playing attacking football. Their pressure is relentless, and they are playing like a top team, an elite team. And I think that is something Eddie Howe has managed to cultivate at Newcastle. 1 year in Newcastle, that I think is a magnificent form. And although there are complaints that the Saudis have dropped a lot of money in Newcastle, I think. I think that's an added advantage.
Yeah, that's an advantage.
Yeah, that's an added advantage. I think the Premier League needs more competitiveness. That is what makes the Premier League the Premier League. Yeah, it's competitiveness, and I think Newcastle are doing a great job. And as for Chelsea, right now, I think Graham Potter needs to look for another formula. Yeah, maybe all the boys need to look for another manager who can take them to the top, or do what Arsenal did with
But,
Arteta. Give him
it's
time.
just 3 games they've lost,
Mhm.
and he needs some time because we cannot say that he should just be taken off his duties. He has time. This
Mhm.
period of World Cup,
Mhm.
he has the players that he can work with at the moment,
Mhm.
at least to see where the problem is. And when he comes back on December, everything shall be back on normal. Because I don't think after these 3 losses,
Mhm.
he should be worried or anything. At least when he loses another 2 games that are coming up,
Mhm.
it's when that he should be worried of his work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I think now we should also be worried even now. The fans have lost confidence in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fans want to see the old Chelsea. They want to see the old Chelsea which is winning, the old Chelsea which carry the UEFA, which carry the league, and they want to see their old Chelsea back. And I think right now, I think every team faces some kind of challenges. There's a period which it faces some challenges, and I think this is one of those seasons for Chelsea. Yeah, and if they want to overcome those challenges, they have to think critically and act accordingly.
Yeah.
Of course. And they need to know what is needed in their team. They need to know what is added, what they need to remove. Yeah, to make Chelsea great again. And I would really love to see them after Christmas, what they will do.
Well, that was it in the English Premier League. The loss by one more thing. It was Fulham against Manchester United on Sunday, whereby we saw Alejandro Garnacho
Yeah.
scoring the last minute
Mhm.
winner. Just the same time as Cristiano Ronaldo, there was a time he also scored a late winner against Fulham, whereby the game ended 2-1 in favor of Manchester
Wow.
United. And then the same thing, in the same wing, on the same style, the
Wow.
goal was scored.
I think that is a little Ronaldo coming up. Yeah, Garnacho is a really great player, but
Yeah.
What I can say about Manchester United, that game they did not play. They did not play really well.
Mhm.
They let Fulham dominate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let Fulham have all the chances, and I think it was lucky. It was lucky for them to get the last minute goal.
Mhm.
And although I would like to give all credit to Garnacho, he's a fantastic player. I would even really want to see him at Arsenal. That guy is fantastic. When he came in, the whole game changed.
Yeah, we saw the game
Yeah,
changed.
The whole game changed. The Man United started creating chances,
Mhm.
and although they didn't dominate enough, the last goal was enough to take the 3 points with them. And I
Okay.
think that was good.
It's a good game.
Mhm.
Now, let's turn our attention to the La Liga, whereby we saw the Real Madrid team were able to become 2-1 victors over
Mhm.
Cadiz. And this is becoming a very interesting race at the moment in La Liga, because you see that it's again the 2 teams as usual,
Yeah.
Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Mhm.
Barcelona or Real Madrid. Now we see that now Barcelona are leading with 37
Mhm.
points against Real Madrid with 35.
Mhm. Yeah.
What do you see about this La Liga when you see Real Madrid and Barcelona now
Well,
being in this race?
I think it was a huge blow when Real lost to Rayo Vallecano some few matches back. Yeah, that was a real blow that gave Barcelona the momentum to go forward, and they went forward with 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also I do think it's a much more tight race than the Premier League. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, two points difference is not that big, and anything could happen anywhere. Yeah, one draw, you could find yourself in the second position again.
Mhm.
And I think La Liga this season will be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now when Barcelona want to prove themselves after falling out of the Champions League.
Mm.
They will want to prove themselves in the La Liga. They will want to carry the La Liga. They will want to win it. They will want to win all the games they have, and so does Real. Real is an elite team. We all know that. They have the potential. They have the capability, and it's going to be a really interesting season. I'm waiting to see it how it ends. Yeah.
Well, on another game was now the league leaders, Barcelona winning 2-1 against Osasuna, and in this game, Robert Lewandowski was had a red card, but they ended up winning without him.
Yeah, I think this is one thing about Barcelona. They have a deep squad. Yeah, because we saw even without Lewandowski, the coach did not make any changes. He just let the team go through. And when he substituted Dembele for Rafinha in the last minutes, I think Rafinha scored the late goal. Yeah, the fantastic head. I think that was good. I think that shows character in the Barcelona team. That shows depth. That shows courage, and fighting for a win with 10 men. Yeah, and especially when you are coming from 1 goal down. Yeah, I think that is something which really needs a lot of fighting, and I think they deserved it.
Yeah.
And I think Barcelona played a good game. Yeah, credit to them, of course.
And on another news, we saw that Atletico Madrid were able to lose 1-0 to this team called Osasuna. Was it Osasuna? No. It was they lost 1-0 to Mallorca, and also Valencia were able to thrash Real Betis 3-0. Sevilla were beaten by Real Sociedad 2-1. Villarreal were able to be 1-0 victorious against Espanyol. And now let's turn our attention to the Serie A. Whereby now we see that Juventus now are again becoming on form, are winning 6 consecutive games and not conceding none.
Wow.
After we saw that Allegri was also in a situation whereby they are not scoring, they are not winning games, and now they've come to a position whereby now they are winning. They are able to beat Lazio 3-0, 2 goals by Muiskin.
Well, I think the drop from the UCL has really woken up a lot of teams. Yeah, I think the pressure from the management has made them think that they need to show more. They need to prove themselves more. I think that is why the likes of Juventus and Barcelona are really performing in their respective leagues. Yeah, and now Juventus have gone up to 3rd, all the way from 6th, and I think that is a good thing for them to go back to the top 4. Yeah, of course there's still a long way to go. There's a long way to go. They are in match 15. There are a lot of matches to go, and when they keep that momentum, they will able to challenge for the title if need be. Yeah.
Challenge for the title, and at the moment they're 10 points behind the league leaders Napoli. And you can see Napoli at the moment is the only team in between English Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga. They're the only teams that they have not lost a game. They have only drawn two times, and they've won all their games at the moment. And this can be a wake-up call for other teams in the Serie A, because also we see that Atalanta were able to lose 3-2 by Inter, and AC Milan were able to become 2-1 winners over Fiorentina. But this, at the moment, can we say that Napoli are genuine contenders at this point?
Well, yeah, of course, Napoli are genuine contenders. That is something to be sure of. Played 15 matches and lost none and drawn 2. I think that is a character for a title defender. That is someone who wants to go all in. And we can also see from the UEFA Champions League performances, this team is not playing. They are going all in for everything. Yeah, and I think they will be great competitors for the top teams. Yeah, and I think they can win this thing if they want to. When they continue the momentum of the World Cup, they will go far.
Yeah. We see that it's going to be a tough season for teams like for teams like Roma. At the moment, you can say they are going to have a hard time. Roma, teams like
Inter
Milan, obvious, AC Milan also, because at the moment when you look at the table, AC Milan are in the second position with 33 points.
Yeah, that's a 7 points difference. Yeah, that's a big difference for the first place team and the second position. Yeah, I think if Milan want to challenge Napoli for the title, they will need to win more. They'll need to do something in the January transfer window. Maybe bring in some quality players, add into the squad depth. And AC Milan can do this. AC Milan can do this. Their recent form has shown us that they can do this. They have elite players. They have quality players. They have the game style. They have the coach. They have everything. And I think it will be fun. Serie A is also another exciting league, of course, but I think they're giving Napoli a run for it. I think they're giving Napoli a run for it, and I think Napoli should be challenged. Napoli should be challenged. Every team should be looking to beat Napoli right now. They are that unbeaten run needs to be stopped so that they can give themselves some hope that the title is not yet gone. Yeah, and I think they can do it if they have the strength and the momentum to do it.
Well, and in other news, now we turn our attention to the rugby sector, whereby we saw Cabras win inaugural Victoria 15s, and also as KCB retained the Fladis title. This Cabras team were able to win 17-13 over the Masinde Muliro contest at the Kakamega Showground on Saturday, 12th November. The Kenya Cup champions took a 17-8 lead into the interval after rallying from a 5-0 deficit. Nelson Babu had given Masinde Muliro the lead with an unconverted try before Dave Williams responded with an unconverted try to tie the score to 5-5. Now, we can see that this rugby games in Kenya are becoming a more competitive one compared to the soccer part of Kenya. Because you see that even though we have teams, I don't know why, they are good players when they come to play in Kenya. But when they go abroad, I don't know what's happening to the Kenyan team, because we see that the Kenyan teams are being thrashed over there in England, in US.
And I think they have a really slim chance of qualifying to the World Cup 2023 next year. But for the local rugby, I'd say it's a great game. It's only pre-season. We can't wait for the full season to start, of course. But I think the defending champions, that is Cabras Sugar, are showing a lot of momentum to really show the rugby league that they can do this. Of course. The Cabras Sugar, is a fantastic team. I can say there's a lot of competition with the local rugby union in Kenya. Many people go to watch it. I also go to watch it. It's a fantastic game. And it needs more support. We've not really been at it at the rugby part in Kenya. And of course in international we've been doing really bad. We're losing consecutively against teams like USA, Uruguay, Paraguay, and now I think it was last week against Portugal. That really crushed our hope for being in the World Cup 2023, and I think that is going to be the first time we miss the World Cup 2023 in the last 4 attempts, and I think that is something which Kenya should not really be proud of. They have to do something. They have to do something about it. They have to take us back to where we were. They have to take us back to the top. We love rugby. Rugby has a lot of fans, and we know that is one of the sports that Kenya is good at.
Apart from athletics.
Apart from athletics, that is one of the games that we are good at, and I think it will be a really good thing if the rugby union just fixes the problem that is within the rugby team. If it's more players they want, if it's the training ground they want, if it's money, they need to fix it as soon as possible, so that we can have a chance of playing at the World Cup next year.
So that was it here at Sports Arena. Let's meet here on Friday, same time, same place. I was your host. Before I complete, I'd like to say, make sure you follow us on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscription notification bell. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and also on TikTok. I was your host, Emmanuel Onyango.
And I was your guy, Erico. See you next time. Peace out.
Keep it sporty here at Sporty Arena.
Of course.